Dave said you're going to bat three. Just kind of go through what that spot is, the requirement, and what you're asked to do batting three in the lineup.
I got moved there during the Vandy series of 2019, and it's just another spot in the order to me. The only part that ever changes is the opponent you face, and year to year the guys that hit around you, and the parts that don't change would be just having good at bats and getting on base whenever I can, and doing my job for the rest of the team.
Bob.
Yeah, Matt, what do you think about your starting rotation this weekend? Maybe you could give a brief thought on each guy.
I'm excited for our rotation, and a lot of people were concerned that it wasn't clear cut there for a while, but I kind of look at it more of as a good thing because they didn't make it difficult to choose because nobody was standing out in a good way. They made it difficult to choose because so many guys were standing out in a good way. So many guys were going out there and giving competitive outings every day, and I'm excited for it. I'm as excited as I can be. I've faced pretty much every single one of them, and none of them are a cakewalk to hit by any stretch of the imagination. You got Zeb, Peyton, and Lockhart. And Lockhart's that guy kind of sneaks up on you, just goes out there and mixes pitches really well, throws strikes, and I'm not at all surprised that he's going to go out there and be one of our guys. And Zebulon's been tough to face for as long as I can remember. He mixes really well as well, and stacks it with a good fastball and good off speed, different off speed that break in different ways. And of course Peyton, and he's got tremendous stuff. It just top notch fastball, top notch breaker, and he's starting to develop some other pitches as well that I'm excited to see. Like I said, I can't express how excited I am.
Yeah, Dave said that Peyton increased his velocity, top end from maybe 91, 92 to consistently being 95 or higher. I mean, just as a batter from last year to this year, did you notice a big jump for him?
Absolutely. And his velo increase not only obviously makes his fastball harder to hit, but it also complements his off speed. And because he can throw his fastball harder, you have to respect it more. And that makes it harder to adjust to the off speed, if you will.
Thanks.
Matt, how's your shoulder doing, and do you think you'll be able to play some first base this year?
It's doing a lot better. It's been a long road, and I worked hard to get it to where it is now, and it's come a long ways. I do anticipate playing some defense this year, and I no matter what Coach Van Horn asks of me, I respect my role, and I want to go out there and help the team in whatever way I can, whether that's DHing or playing first base. I probably won't be throwing 100 pitches anytime soon, but it is what it is.
Tom?
Matt, you guys have been practicing inside for a while now. I'm wondering about your preparedness for a real game now, how you feel about that, and also starting out the way you are against really top-notch competition, what you think of that.
I think we're as prepared as we can be. When we play in Dallas, it is also going to be inside, and I think that us having practiced inside for a while is going to contribute to that in a positive way. And you're right. They're throwing us out there with the Lions. Texas Tech, Texas. Those Texas schools aren't anyone to be to overlook. And but I think we're ready. We got a good squad. A lot of depth throughout the entire lineup. A lot of depth in the pitching, and I'm excited to go out there and play those guys.
Jason?
Matt, you talked about respecting your role and whatever that is. Then you also talked about earlier about the pitchers made it tough on the coaches to decide who's going to be in the rotation. What have you seen from guys like Wicklander, Nolan Bolden, some guys that maybe have started in the past that are going to come out of the pen this weekend as they prepare for this season?
We've seen what they're capable of doing, and Sometimes you don't have it, sometimes you do, and it doesn't really matter. When those guys have it, they're going to come out there and be as successful as anyone. And I look at guys like Bolden, who's my roommate. He works as hard as anyone. He goes out there and competes his butt off every single day, and they're going to be contributors as well.
Nate?
Yeah, Matt, just kind of as a DH, what's your kind of in between innings routine, and how do you kind of keep in the game when you're not out in the field?
Keeping your body hot, keeping your body moving is a pretty important factor, I'd say, because you don't want to go up there having not done anything and you can't move at the ability that you're capable of moving. Baseball being one of those explosive sports, you can't just go out there and just do something, you'll get hurt, or like I said, you won't perform at your highest abilities. Not just one thing in particular, taking advantage of watching what the pitcher's doing when you're not going. Cheering on something as simple as cheering on your teammates when they're playing defense, cheering on the pitchers, the offense is only one side of it. And picking up your teammates whenever they're on defense is another part of it. Whether you're a DH, whether you're relieving, it doesn't really matter. Defense, the pitching, this is just as big a part of it as me being a DH.
Thanks.
I'll let you back to you.
Matt, if you're DH and it looks like Brady or Cullen are going to play first base, I don't think either one of those are natural first basemen. Handle the position. What have you thought about them defensively?
They've both done really well, and they can both really swing it. From the offensive side of it, defensively, they're both good. They're both good, and there's not a whole lot to say. They've come in, they've worked really hard, and I'm happy that they're on our team.
Curtis.
Hey, Matt, you've been a part of some pretty good lineups here at Arkansas. Where do you think this group stacks up this season? And, what do you think the identity will be for this team offensively?
That's a tough one to say. Every team, every lineup is going to be a little different in its way. I think we're just going to be as deep as we can be, and it's not easy to replace guys like Heston Kjerstad or Casey Martin in the lineup. Those elite guys that are early in the order, but at the same time, we may be just as deeper throughout the other end. We got guys coming, going to be able to contribute. We got guys that may not be starting, but can give you a really good pinch hit if you need him, and then finish out the game if you must. I'm excited for it.
Finish with Jason here. Last one.
Hey, that double play turn, or just the defense in general from battles and more, how good is that, and how good are those two guys working together?
It's really fun to watch. They're really impressive up the middle, and you've seen Robert Moore go. You've seen how quick he is, how good his hands are, and then Jalen just being a little different build, a different type of defender. He's your prototype shortstop. He doesn't make a whole lot of doesn't make many mistakes. Smooth. Him and Robert Moore being up the middle is just. There's nothing more to say than just fun to watch. It's impressive.